Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Dreadlocks. I'm Gunther the Great, and today I seen someone DM me and said that Lil Skies cut his dreadlocks off, and I'm actually on my tags page right now, and I just wanted to look at his hair now and just kind of remember his dreads, because he actually had some really dope dreadlocks. So we're just gonna be chilling. Before we get into it, I just wanted to show you guys some of your pictures that you tagged me in. Make sure to tag Dreadlocks if you want to be featured. This dude has some really dope dreads. He always gets featured on the page. Let's see. He has really dope dreads. I like hers. Watch, I'll show you real quick. Hers are super dope. And I like how these are just like more natural. But let's see if anybody else has some dope dreads. I mean, everyone really does. Some people just stand out more than others, and mostly, like for me, I like freeform dreads, but those ones typically stand out a little bit more. These ones look freshly retwisted, so that's cool. But you guys, let's look at Lil Skies, man. He only has, I think, a few photos on his Instagram, so we'll only be able to see, well, he actually has two, but this is the haircut that he got, and it's really interesting. I think it's cool, just like a fade, and high top fade, super bald on the side. You can see that his barber like missed some spots. That's pretty interesting. But overall, really clean fade. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's cool when people like this that are known for a certain hairstyle or something, because he was very popular with the braids, and then he turned them into dreadlocks, and I think he did have some extensions in his dreadlocks that made them a little longer. But there is this one page that has a bunch of pictures of Lil Skies, and we'll just be able to look at his hair, the whole progress, because he had some really dope dreadlocks and some really cool hairstyles, and just overall some really cool looking dreads. So we all know that he had a more of a straighter curl pattern, so he probably had a maybe 2C hair type. Here's him when he's a kid, so you can see his hair. He actually has a little afro right here, so he probably had like a 3A hair type, and then most likely got his hair by doing, I think, twist and rip, but he could have done another method, but I think it was most likely twist and rip. And you could see that he had some really cool hairstyles, to tell you the truth. Did a double braid back right here, and a double braid like with dreadlocks looks so clean, and yeah, just overall looks really cool. I think the is this like box braid? No, this is two strand twist. I think this is a really cool look as well, and I think just doing hairstyles with dreadlocks just makes them look so much more better, if that was totally like an illiterate saying, but I mean, if you can even say it that way, I think they look more better with hairstyles. Like you can see, I think right here, they'll braid back as well, and it looks like he just tied it together versus braiding that part to keep it all together. But yeah, comment down below, what do you think? Do you like him better now, or do you like his hairstyle now better without the dreads, or without his iconic braids, what he used to have? Do you like him better with the braids? I kind of like it how his hair is now, because I just think that's a bold move to go straight to a haircut that is super low compared to all the other hairstyles that you've had. And I think that's super smart as a creator, or as an artist, is to, if you're a creator or an artist, I think you should let your art speak for itself versus your style. And your style does speak for itself as well. It's a representation of you. But like I think if you like, for him, he's a rapper, his music should speak for itself versus how his style looks overall. I will say whoever takes his photos has like a really good eye for photography. This was a really cool look, just like a man bun, and his dreads are super high up. He has like a realistic high top fade versus how a lot of people actually get high top fades to where they won't go all the way up, Like they'll probably stop about right here and let that hair grow out. But yeah, he had more of a straight hair pattern, just getting back to that. Straight curl pattern. And he would always do the braids, and then eventually got dreadlocks, and I'm assuming he did twist and rip like I have explained, and I'm sure he went in with crochet hooking afterwards. Not himself, maybe himself, but I'm almost positive that it was someone who did it for him. You can see right here that his tips are wispy, and that just goes to show that yes, he does have more of a straight curl pattern. And yeah, they just look really cool. But it was pretty interesting that he only had like barely any hair on the top. See, as you can see, it was almost like a mohawk, how skinny his hair actually was up there. Like the width of how much hair he had, you can see right here perfectly. That is barely any hair up here. Yeah, I think just going back to the picture of him without his dreadlocks now. If I could even go back. Maybe not. Let's just go to his page. Looks different. Obviously he looks the same. He's very distinct because of his face tattoos and obviously the way he looks. But very distinct. And it's going to be interesting to see what he does, because with fades like this, it's kind of like, yo, what are you gonna do with this? Are you gonna like bleach it or something? Or are you just gonna leave it like that? Because we see all these people. We see people like Lil Pump. We see Lil Uzi Vert. We see Young Thug. We see all these people with dreadlocks. We saw Bob Marley. And people just with, I mean, if you take it even back to, who was it? That basketball player. I can't even think of his name, but he would always color his hair. Dennis Rodman. Like Dennis Rodman would always color his hair, and he would be like super, I would say, flamboyant with his hair. And we see like Lil Skies, we see Lil Yachty, we see all these people that have a certain style to them, like Travis Scott and A$AP Rocky, who do these certain hairstyles. And it's interesting to see them like cut it all the way down. Because we've seen, like Young Thug has cut his hair before, but he reattached it. We see now Lil Skies, and who else is doing these things? We saw, who was it? Slim Jimmy from Ray Shremmerd. He cut his dreadlocks. And there's just so many other people that have cut their hair and allowed their art to stand for itself versus trying to, you know, be an influence as far as their style or fashion, which all of them really do influence in that way too. A lot of it is, a lot of people do have the same style and fashion when it comes to this industry, but it is kind of distinct at the same time. But it is interesting when people actually cut their hair off. Like, even if you look at me, for instance, when I combed out my dreadlocks, because I built my channel on dreadlocks, and obviously I'm getting my dreadlocks back, just doing a different route. Doing that, making that decision, it's a bold move because you're allowing yourself to stand by itself versus your outward, the way people see you outwardly. And I think it's a big thing to look at, being either a kid in this world or being in high school and all these things. Don't feel so affected or being bound to a certain style that you see everyone else doing, or don't feel bound to sticking to just one thing because that's what you've always done. If you have an idea on something that you want to achieve or accomplish, I think you should do it. Like Lil Skies, he cut his hair. That's something that I'm sure he's been wanting to do. But it all starts from that idea of, man, I want to cut my hair, or an idea of I want to be different. And that's just a big thing. And it's a lot of things that I can speak from personal experience that you will feel bound to certain things sometimes, and I want to encourage you, don't feel bound to do to certain things just because you've always done it, or just because people accept you that way. But hopefully you got something out of it. I think this was really helpful for people that are in high school and that, you know, are living life, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, hopefully you got something out of this video besides just Lil Sky's cutting his hair, because I think that's really cool to see that he actually did it. But yeah, make sure to go follow the Dreadlocks Instagram page, because all these people on here are featured people, and you can be featured too. Just make sure to tag Dreadlocks on your Instagram photos, and also don't forget to tag Dreadlocks on your Instagram story. So, you know, take a picture on your story or a video on your story, tag Dreadlocks, and then you'll be featured on the story. So I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, guys. But other than that, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.